Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A DeWitt County judge has ordered a Clinton man to remain behind bars until his trial following a pretrial release hearing on Monday afternoon. Nicholas L. Smith, 35, has been held in the DeWitt County Jail since his arrest on April 25th for the murder of his wife, 34-year-old Cassandra N. Smith. He faces 5 counts of first-degree murder, along with charges of obstructing justice, resisting a peace officer, and concealment of a homicidal death. During Monday's hearing, defense attorney Daniel Clifton argued for Smith's release ahead of his August 10th jury trial. Clifton contended that if released, Smith could return to work and resume contact with his 2 young children. DeWitt County State's Attorney Dan Markwell strongly objected, arguing that Smith poses a severe danger to himself and the public, as well as a significant flight risk. Markwell called Special Officer Dustin Hoffmeyer of the Illinois State Police to the stand to detail the joint investigation with the Clinton Police Department. Hoffmeyer testified that the investigation began as a welfare check on April 24th, following an anonymous missing persons report. When Clinton officers arrived at the property, they noted a strong odor and observed a 2010 GMC SUV belonging to Smith's mother. Local security and doorbell footage later tracked the SUV arriving at the Sunset Inn and Suites in the early morning hours of April 25th. The footage showed a suspect matching Smith's description and 2 small children exiting the vehicle before walking back toward the residence. Just 3 minutes after abandoning the vehicle, Smith contacted the Clinton Police Department after learning authorities were looking for him, asking for time to put his children to bed before speaking with officers. During subsequent interviews with investigators, Smith allegedly provided multiple conflicting accounts. He initially claimed he and Cassandra were separated and that he had seen her the previous day in Bloomington, a claim contradicted by flock license plate readers that tracked his vehicle in Lincoln and Decatur that day. Cassandra's body was ultimately discovered in the trunk of the SUV at the Sunset Inn and Suites parking lot. Hoffmeyer testified that the body was unclothed, showing signs of decomposition and significant physical trauma, including blunt force injuries, broken ribs, and evidence of strangulation. Upon being informed by investigators that his wife's body had been found, Smith fled from police before being recaptured by the Illinois State Police. A subsequent search of Smith's residence under a warrant revealed extensive evidence, including blood splatter on the walls, blood-soaked clothing, and a chair equipped with wrist bindings. A digital forensic search of Smith's cell phone also uncovered internet searches from March regarding dead bodies, alongside explicit threats of violence and death directed at Cassandra and others. A bag containing the victim's personal belongings was also recovered from the home. Following the testimony and arguments, Judge Carl Koritz ruled that continued detention is necessary, officially denying Smith's release to eliminate flight risks and ensure public safety. While he calls it the worst kept secret in Clinton YMCA's Rennie Kluver says they continue to make very good progress in fundraising for a new facility in Clinton. A new facility planned for the property of the Safe Passage green space just off the downtown square in Clinton has been needed for almost a decade. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Rennie Kluver, executive director of the Clinton YMCA, told the Heart Media Group the organization's long-term capital campaign to build an entire 2-phase replacement facility is well underway.
Secret in DeWitt County, which I preface that and say that, but there's probably a lot of intent on it being that way. Like someone comes by my office and asks me about it, I'll show them the plans that we've got, and because I'm excited about it. And this process of starting a capital campaign to build a new facility, and really it started as we just needed gym space for our own programming. I mean, everybody knows that's involved in youth sports, especially, that the school district does a great job of allowing the community to use gym space, but they've got to use it for their own sport teams, and it's tough, and there's just not enough space to use. And so this is years ago where we're like, yeah, we need to find new gym space. So it started out as, let's put up a building with a couple courts in it, and it's expanded into being a brand new facility, just everything, in 2 phases currently. Because we started with just needing gym space, and then we're like, well, what would it look like to add a pool and just get out of our old building and move on? And so we're looking at it 2 phase, with the plan that once we raise all the money, we'd love to do it in just 1 phase. And so over the last couple of years, we've been developing that, and I think it was the capital campaign fundraising. The quiet phase, I will say, has been going on for a year. And so, we've made a lot of traction. I will say, I can say that our initial goal is $10 million for phase 1. We've been blessed tremendously with a handful of donors. I say handful, less than 40. That has been the bulk of and we're already, past that 80% of our goal for that phase 1.
Kluver acknowledged that Clinton schools do an exceptional job of allowing outside organizations to utilize its gym facilities, but school programs naturally take priority, leaving the Y with highly restricted scheduling windows to run its youth sports programming.
The main thing about this whole process that is done for me personally is, when it started, it's like, yes, we need gym space for the Y. It'd be great for our programming. And that's developed into, gosh, the community be able to use it too. The youth leagues, the girls basketball, boys basketball, indoor, outdoor activities, to see how much this project is more about the community versus just the Y is huge. And I think there's people out there that would like, oh, the Y, why do they need a new facility? And they're not members, but it's going to affect them, because this project, the whole reason behind it and where it's going to be at, which is the old junior high and high school location on Prairie Passage across from the library. And the whole reason for that is to draw more traffic to the downtown area and foot traffic. And over time, I've been able to study how much foot traffic the Y brings in at our current location on Alexander Street. And it is amazing to see, 2 years ago, it was like 35,000 different people, but people that came in through those doors and checked in. That's not even counting the people that didn't. And then in 2025, it's 38,000. Our enrollment, our membership is increasing. I would say we're probably right at 2,300 members. Now, that's not saying all members are coming in and using the wellness center and the weight room, and some of them just use the pool, and some people just come in to shoot baskets, and some people just come in to group exercise. When I left today to come here, the parking lot was packed. And it had nothing to do with camp, because camp kids aren't driving. And it was after all the parents had dropped off.
The YMCA's current location on Alexander Street is original to the 1960s, with an addition built in the early 2000s. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to enjoy them. Your home should too. At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, enjoy one-story living and walking paths right outside your door. Spend less time on upkeep and more time enjoying spring. To learn more, click our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW AM, FM, and streamed online.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
Now there's one web portal for local agriculture radio programming in Central Illinois. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Local farm programming streamed live and archived to hear anytime. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Hear the morning and noon farm shows with local agriculture news and interviews. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Plus hear all of your favorite agriculture farm shows, including RFD Illinois, AgriTalk, RFD Today, and the Closing Market Report. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. It's agriculture grown locally, streamed live, and archived to hear anytime. IllinoisFarmRadio.com. A service of the Miller Media Group.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Dustin May took a perfect game into the 7th inning before finishing a one-hitter as the St. Louis Cardinals beat the San Diego Padres 3-0 on Monday night. Jimmy Crooks had a 2-run double, and Alec Burleson added an RBI double for the Cardinals, who won for the 8th time in 11 games. May is 5-6 and struck out 9 and walked 1. He threw 69 of his 101 pitches for strikes during his first complete game in 71 Major League starts. The 28-year-old right-hander didn't allow a base runner until he walked Fernando Tatis Jr. to begin the 7th. Manny Machado singled one out later, putting runners at the corners, but Gold Glove shortstop Mason Wynn turned a nifty double play on Gavin Sheets' grounder up the middle to keep it 3-0. May struck out the side in the 6th and 8th. He became the first Cardinal starter to get an out in the 8th inning this year, and the first to go the distance since Sonny Gray threw a one-hitter against the Guardians on June 27th last season. It was the 9th complete game and 6th individual shutout in the majors this season. Center fielder Jackson Merrill robbed Burleson of a home run against Lucas Giolito leading off the 4th. Giolito retired 8 in a row before Lars Nootbaar and Wynn had 2-out singles. Crooks followed with a double to left center for a 2-0 lead. Ivan Herrera walked with 2 outs in the 5th and advanced on a wild pitch before scoring on Burleson's double. Giolito is 2-2 and allowed 3 runs and 7 hits in 5 innings of relief after opener Wandy Peralta pitched a scoreless first. Kyle Hart gave up 1 hit over 2 innings. Hart was recalled from AAA El Paso when the Padres placed closer Mason Miller on the bereavement list. Miller, who leads the majors with 19 saves, will miss the series. Padres manager Craig Stammen served a 1-game suspension after Major League Baseball ruled that reliever Ron Marinaccio intentionally hit Baltimore's Gunnar Henderson with a pitch on Saturday. Marinaccio received a 3-game suspension, but he appealed and remains eligible to pitch. Padres right-hander Michael King is 4-5 with a 3.46 ERA and starts Tuesday opposite Cardinals righty Andre Palante, who is 7-4 with a 3.88 ERA. Pete Crow Armstrong became the first Major League player to hit for the cycle this season as the Chicago Cubs rallied for a 5-4 victory over the Colorado Rockies on Monday night. Chicago trailed 4-3 in the 9th inning before Pedro Ramirez hit an RBI single off Seth Halverson with a bases loaded and nobody out. Matt Shaw then walked on 5 pitches to force home the winning run. Cole Carrick's 3-run homer off Caleb Thielbar in the 8th, his 3rd home run of a 7 big league games, gave the Rockies a 4-2 lead. Crow Armstrong sacrifice fly in the bottom half pulled Chicago within 1. Crow Armstrong extended his on-base streak to 19 games with his 2nd leadoff home run in 3 games, a 434-foot shot to center field off Michael Lorenz. Crow Armstrong led off the third with a triple to center. He doubled in the fifth and singled leading off the seventh for the 13th cycle in Cubs history and second since 1993. A triple short of a cycle on Saturday, Crow Armstrong joined Hack Wilson from 1930 as the only Cubs center fielders to hit for the cycle since 1901. Crow Armstrong finished 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs, but only scored once as the Cubs went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position until the ninth. He was picked off first base by Brennan Bernardino after his single. Daniel Palencia is 2-1 and pitched a scoreless ninth for the Cubs, who sit at 38 and 35. Juan Meja is 1-6 and took the loss for the Rockies, who fall to 27 and 46. Chicago starter Shoto Imanaga allowed 1 run over 5 2/3 innings. He was lifted with 2 on before reliever Phil Maton walked Carrig to force home Colorado's first run. With the score tied 1-1 in the sixth, Shaw tripled into the right field corner to score Moises Ballesteros from first. Ramirez entered as a pinch hitter in the eighth. Rockies right-hander Ryan Feltner is 2-2 with a 5.2 ERA and gets the start Tuesday against Cubs right-hander Edward Cabrera, who is 4-3 with a 4.86 ERA. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies shut out the Miami Marlins 7-0, while the Washington Nationals beat the Kansas City Royals 7-3. The Cincinnati Reds routed the New York Mets 12-0, while the Minnesota Twins beat the Texas Rangers 4-2. The Detroit Tigers beat the Houston Astros 9-3, and the Arizona Diamondbacks took down the Los Angeles Angels 4-3. The Athletics routed the Pittsburgh Pirates 11-2, and the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Tampa Bay Rays 4-3. The Chicago Bulls are finalizing a deal to hire Portland Trail Blazers interim coach Tiago Splitter as their next head coach. Splitter is 41 years old and joined Chauncey Billups' staff in Portland last June. He was elevated from assistant to interim coach when Billups was arrested in October in a federal takedown of a sprawling gambling operation. Billups has pleaded not guilty to charges of wire fraud and money laundering. Splitter coached Portland to a 42-40 record in a 5-game loss to San Antonio in the first round of the playoffs. It was the first playoff appearance and the first time the Trailblazers finished with a winning record since the 2020-2021 season. Splitter played for San Antonio, Atlanta, and Philadelphia during his 7 seasons as an NBA player. The 6'11" center from Brazil was selected by the Spurs in the first round of the 2007 draft, and he helped the team win an NBA title in 2014. He worked for Brooklyn for 5 seasons from 2018 to 2023, first as a pro scout, then as an assistant coach. He was an assistant for Houston for 1 year before coaching Paris Basketball Club to a French Cup championship during the 2024-25 season. Splitter would replace Billy Donovan, who resigned after 6 seasons. The Bulls had conversations with Donovan about returning, but he decided to step aside rather than work with a new front office. Chicago allowed 121.5 points per game this season, ranking 28th overall in the NBA. The Bulls finished with a 31-51 record while missing the playoffs for the 4th straight year. Bryson Graham was hired as Chicago's executive vice president of basketball operations on May 4th. Stephen Merfis and AC Law IV joined the team's revamped front office on May 19th. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton.
It's been great. You and Ben and the entire team are doing a great job. And we're just continuing on serving the local community, right? This is what this is all about. We're here to serve our local community. We're here to tell the local stories. We're here to cover the news. So nothing in that regard is changing. Our goal is connecting people. And that's our tagline at Hart Media Group. It's connecting people.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in August of 2025 and looks forward to serving the community for years to come.
Insects have reigned since the dawn of time, adapted to their surroundings, experienced the harshest climates and toughest challenges until now. With 2 modes of action, Ridgeback insecticide delivers one devastating outcome for soybean aphids: extinction from your fields. They may have lived through it all, but they won't survive this. End soybean aphids reign at ridgeback.corteva.us.
Digital marketing has its place, but across rural America, there's still one medium that farmers and ranchers consistently rely on: ag radio. Farm broadcasters reach agricultural producers where cellular service drops and internet connections fail. When farmers are making critical decisions in the field, they're listening to farm broadcasters they've trusted for years. Consider this: the average farmer spends 5 to 6 hours daily in equipment where radio is their primary companion. That's why ag radio offers